Well, we've done it, guys. We've made it to 52 episodes of the Emergency Storage Shed Clean-Out series. That's one per week. We did not miss a week for an entire year. So episode 52, let's get something out of the Emergency Storage Shed. And if you're new to the channel, I'll tell you what it's all about. So my shed's a bit of a rabbit warren, and we're moving around now to the front entrance where we had an emergency shed built. About 18 months ago, when I had to move out of my old shop. I'm a second-hand dealer and I clean out people's houses and sheds for a living. I've been doing it for 20 years and a lot of it had to get moved here in a hurry. And my kids were kind enough to help me pack it all, and they're extremely good at Tetris, as you can see. Some of the stuff I've never seen in the boxes, it's just been packed away, and we've made really good progress. Even though I'm standing in the front door and the shed goes back quite a long way, believe me, in 12 months we'd made good progress. Now, contrary to popular belief, I'm not going to have to live to 184 years old to finish it. It could be at least 100, but I don't think it'll be 184. We're going to get through it a bit quicker now, though, because there's some bigger boxes with larger things, and I don't think we're going to have quite as many boxes of vintage and antique tools and, lots of little things. There's going to be some, but I think we're going to forge our way through it a bit quicker now. This shelf is already been done and is now reorganized with stuff that I've got to keep. Many of you will remember I've actually got a lathe to set up in here one day, so I'm keeping tools as I find them. There's some stuff from the farm in here. There's a lot of e-waste and electronic stuff, and we will go through and test and sometimes repair and sometimes scrap that. So that's enough of the story. If you want to know more, go back to the start of the playlist and you'll get many hours of hopefully interesting viewing time. Where are we going to go from here? Well, a few suggestions was to keep forging down the middle to open up more space and then work on the side shelves. I do, though, need to free up a bit of shelf space to put some of the boxes that I have sorted but I need to keep for now, and that may include I will use later on, or I'm waiting to find a few more parts. So I think we'll compromise and we'll do a bit in the middle here. Let's tackle something, well, the red box is the glaring obvious item. Let's tackle a couple of things from in the middle to free up that top area, and then we can swing around and work on this area, because that shelf will be very handy for storing things that I am keeping at this stage. So I don't think we can get the barrel down easily without moving a couple of things. So let's go for that red box. I think it's just a box of assorted vintage wheels that I've kept, and I may be still keeping them, so that may not take very long. I don't know what's in that little finger jointed box. It's a nice early box. It's clearly the lid's got an issue. Maybe the hinges are broken, and I don't know what's in it. So let's get the red box down, and we should be able to also do that timber box. We'll take them into the workbench and we'll start our discoveries. Well, this box was a bit heavier than I thought it was going to be. There are a lot of old wheels here, but there's a few other bits and pieces, so it could be interesting to go through. But I'm going to pressure myself. I want to do the 2 boxes in this episode. I'll go and get the other one. And this one's lighter than I expected because it's empty and it's also broken. So we'll have to work out what we're going to do with that, whether it's worth saving or not. We'll go through the red one first. Okay, red box, what mysterious contents do you contain? Well, there are some vintage wheels. There's an old hearth brush, and believe it or not, they actually sell quite well. Probably not a hearth brush, it's probably just like for a dustpan. You wouldn't be able to, even though I think it's horsehair, I guess you could brush coals if you were quickly, but it would burn fairly well. So that's probably still going to have a $5 value. I don't think I've got the pan with it. And also, if you're new to the channel, I do go through a lot of these unboxings and explain what things are, and sometimes I ask you guys for advice, and I try and value stuff, and I take it to my shop most times and sell it. Now, we have a running total too for that shed, and we're over $8,000 worth of stuff I've taken out. They're a matching set. I don't know what they're off. They're obviously pretty rough. I think this box has had rats through it or something. It's a bit dirty. The rubber tyres on these are okay. They're solid rubber. They're like a giant O-ring, and they go very hard, and quite often they break and fall apart. There's always people restoring vintage ride-on toys and even old washing basket trolleys, and these old wheels go very well on those. The question I have now is do I sell them or do I keep them? Well, I'm trying to avoid the hoarding. Many of you will understand that, and it's particularly a problem when you have a second-hand shop, because every day you're picking up something and saying, well, that might be handy one day. So in many instances, I'm deciding to price things, and if I sell them in the shop, well, great. And if I don't sell them and I need it, well, I know where it is. So the shop kind of provides some storage for me. These are different. Oh, that's a matching pair. There you go. So I guess we can match these up. I think I will price them for the shop. It gets them out of my shed. There's a fair chance if I did keep them that they would be here until my kids have to clean up my shed. So I might as well get some return. I don't know. I don't think it's a tyre for it. Oh, it may have been a tyre. I thought it might have been an actual sewer pipe O-ring, which sometimes work. I think that's a tyre, but I don't know if it fits that one. So anyway, I'll pull these out. I don't think there's anything else in here except wheels by the looks of it. And that one may be off a pedal car, actually. And that looks like a very early toy frame, and there's really not much value there except a little cast iron wheel. We might try and save that, but the rest of the frame's only going to be scrap metal. That one's a cast aluminium wheel. That's pretty cute. And sometimes I turn up steering wheels. That's almost like a steering wheel off a pedal car. It's not, but they're similar. And I have actually sold those on eBay for fairly large money. Oh, there's the other part of that. Okay. So they're matching wheels. I don't exactly know what it was. Maybe a little kid's wagon or something. I think it was a toy. I might try and save those cast wheels. That's just a standard training wheel off a push bike, so not much value there. Although it's still a tin wheel, so it still would have a use on an old toy. Some more tyres. I'm pretty sure that one's actually an O-ring, a rubber O-ring out of that cast iron sewer pipe where they join it. But again, it could be used as a tyre. It would probably stretch over something like that and work quite well. Whoops. Obviously something a bit smaller than that one. I think that is a tyre, that one. Now, we had one similar to that, or did I put it back in? Alright, well, there you go. They're a matching pair, I think. So I think I'll wash them up and just match them up in pairs. I should be able to get $10 a pair for them, I would imagine. So there's going to be a fair bit of value in here. These ones are nice. Wonder if we can find a tyre that fits that one. We might be able to just about do that. Alright, well, you don't need me to watch me do that. I'm just going to wash them in warm soapy water, give them a good scrub. That's a plastic one, probably off a laundry trolley. An old wire spoked one. And these have come out of people's sheds as I've been cleaning up. That's actually, that matches that one, but it's a smaller one, or larger. Okay, no other surprises in here. I'll be back with you shortly. I just thought I'd give you a look at my washing up spot under a nice shady tree. It's the middle of summer here. It's actually not a bad day, but the sun still has a bit of a sting in it, so we'll work under the shade here. I've just scrubbed all these wheels up in some soapy water, and they're all lined up in the sun to dry. We'll match them up shortly and see what sort of value we've got. Let's see if we can remove these cast wheels. I'm going to grind the back of the rivet off, and hopefully it'll punch out without breaking the cast. And we'll grind this one as well. So these are fully welded on with rust. I've given that a bit of a tap. The cast iron's going to be extremely brittle, so I don't think there's a chance of that rivet punching through. I think I might cut through with the grinder to take this bracket off, and then we can perhaps jar the rivet a bit more freely. I think I can actually see the rivet might have slightly moved. But yeah, I don't want to hammer it too much because that wheel will break very easily. Yeah, let's cut the bracket off. Okay, we should be able to knock that around now. I'm wondering if that rivet is actually a screw. It might have been threaded. I wouldn't have thought so, unless it was threaded into the back bracket. It wouldn't have been threaded into the wheel, otherwise the wheel wouldn't turn. Yeah, we'll try and knock that bracket off now. I'll poke a bit of timber in here to stop the wheel going too far down. I don't want to clamp it too hard in the jaws. Let's see what happens here. That's moving the bracket. The rivet is loose. Excellent. I think it is screwed into that back piece of metal. There we go, that's spinning, so it's not stuck in the wheel. I might just grind a touch more off that so that that falls apart. Then we better do the other one. Okay, success. We haven't damaged the wheel. And I managed to get both of the cast iron wheels off fine, nice and safely. I've cleaned them up a little bit. I'm going to put $10 a pair on those as toy wheels. Pretty early ones, I'd imagine. Everything else cleaned up quite well. It looks like a tyre and wheel shop. I'm going to price the matching pairs at $10 a pair. Some of them might go $15. That's a good set with two good tyres, I think. I might even go $20 on that because the axles are okay. They would paint up very well. Now I checked eBay for pedal car wheels and some of them sold extremely well. Some of the sellers were very ambitious, but I have seen sets sell for well over $50. That's a nice set, but I don't have the other tyre, but I reckon that's probably $15 a set. I might go 20 on that. That might be 15. I'll vary them a little bit. Some of them have some damage. It's been a bit chewed out in the middle. This is a really nice set, but unfortunately one end's torn right out. Now the actual hub or the axle is still in there. It could be welded up okay. So maybe $10 on that because of the damage. That's a cute little set. I reckon that's better than 10. It's too small for a pedal car, but it would suit maybe the trailing wheels on a little tricycle. Even the spare tyres here, they don't fit any of the other rims, but I'd probably put maybe $10 on the group of those. And all the individual single wheels, I'm just going to go $5 each. So that's going to add up to a fair bit. I haven't actually added it up yet. We'll get the notepad out shortly. Don't forget we had our brush over there. I reckon we could get $5 for, and a little bit of scrap metal. So we'll get the notepad out soon on that. But before we finish this video, let's have a look at that broken box. Okay, this sad old box. What are we going to do about this? I don't know if the glass was broken because there was a heavy box of wheels on it. No, I think it's an old break. So it's quite a nice old box. Let's take the glass out. Okay. So I don't think it was a cutlery canteen. It's too high for that. So, and it looks like it's purposely had a glass lid. Oh no, it slots in, doesn't it? But I think that was original. So maybe it was a little display cabinet. It looks like it had a lock of some sort. That latch is actually broken. In fact, I think it's been force broken. So it has had a lock. It's quite an old piece of hardware there. Nicely finger jointed on the corners. But it's got a modern piece of plywood on the bottom. Oh, it's not plywood, it's masonite. So that looks a bit tacky, especially because it's white on the sides. So will we fix it up? Well, the box itself just needs a piece of old ply on the bottom and that would look the part. The hinges look okay. They're original brass hinges. And it hasn't actually broken the timber. The finger joints have just, the glue's dried out and they've just come apart. So I think it's worth fixing. That should actually press back in. And I think I can re-glue that very easily. Let's see if they slide in. And I think it needs a bit of a clean up. The old glue remnants are going to be there. But I think I'll just sand back the old glue out of the joints there It should slide together nicely, but I can't see any actual damage to the timber. So this is a fix-up job. There's no borer damage, there's no other issues. I'll see if I can cut a piece of glass for it, and we might even use it in the shop as a display item. Okay, I think I'll leave this for a future video. It will be done soon. I don't want to put it aside and just let it add to my pile of projects. It will be useful in the shop. It should be a fairly quick repair. So I'll do this in a future video coming up soon. As for what it's worth, it probably doesn't matter as far as our cleanup total goes, our emergency storage shed total, because I won't be selling it at this stage. It will be handy in the shop. But a nice little box like this, restored with a glass top and a nice old plywood base, and cleaned up a bit, it's probably $80 to $100 worth. So I think that's worth spending a couple of hours on getting ready, and it'll be very useful. All right, well, that will then finish our video. Let's have a look at the notepad for all those wheels. And so I've already cleaned up all the wheels, ready to go to the shop. And our price, can you believe it? $200, really? Again, that's the multiplication thing. I didn't think they were overpriced. In fact, if you check eBay completed items for pedal car wheels, you'll be surprised at what some of them sell for. I think these will be snapped up by people that like to restore old wheels and toys. I think $200 is more than achievable, and that really actually surprises me. I'm constantly surprised in this game, and I've been doing it for 20 years. Anyway, $200, fantastic. Not only is that figure, I think, very achievable in the shop and relatively quickly, I reckon if you put a box lot of those wheels all spread out as we had them on the table on eBay as a bulk lot, the pedal car collector guys, I reckon, would be bidding, and you probably nearly would get that much money through eBay, although you've got fees, of course, and postage would be an issue. But I think they're the sort of thing that would sell very well in any situation: garage sale, swap meet, market, my shop. Thanks for watching, guys. Another box done, another episode of the Storage Shed Clean Out series complete. We'll be doing episode 53 very soon. Bye for now.